Okay, so today is Sunday, yet again, and what I'm trying to do here is today's agenda is I'm trying to get all the flags set in the stock computer with the 4-cylinder so I can get it through Connecticut emissions. I got one to set, which is the catalyst. But now I gotta get I have already initiated the evap test. So now we gotta do the oxygen sensors and the heater circuits of the oxygen sensors. So I got a list of all kinds of crap that I gotta do. Drive for 2 minutes at 55 miles an hour, stop at an idle for 2 minutes. I've had a couple check engine light codes that are in there, so I weighed out how much it was gonna be to fix the problems. Like one's a camshaft correlation code, thermostat code, purge valve code. Yeah, I weighed it out on how much to fix all of that, and all I did is I wasn't going to spend $500-600 on an engine that's going to come out in 2 weeks. So I just registered the computer with HP tuners and took care of those codes. So no check engine light. We're setting all the readiness monitors now. Hopefully this works and I can get it through emissions this week, and then we could start the swap. Well, anyways, I will check back in later. Nighttime. Yeah. All day long I've been doing stuff. And like a jackass, I didn't record any of it. So I figured I'd just do an update video instead. The first part of this video, you guys, was with me this morning trying to get all the emissions flags set on the Canyon. And what a bitch. Like I say, it's even with our directions for out of service information being, this is GM dealer stuff that I'm doing, and it's a bitch. Even with there are no tricks to it or anything like that. They're just specific, really specific steps you need to take to get these emissions flags set. I got one of them done. I got catalyst done, and that's the second to the hardest. I got that one done. Tomorrow morning, when the vehicle is ice cold, I have to do, it's the oxygen sensor heater circuit tests that it's got to do. That's one of the flags, and that's a difficult one because you gotta, when it's ice cold, all the conditions have got to be spot on. You gotta turn the key on and let it sit for like 2 or 3 minutes, and then shut the key off for 5 or more minutes to let the oxygen sensors cool, because it's all the heated part of it that we're testing. And then you have to start the vehicle, and then you have to go drive 10 minutes to get it up to operating temperature. And then when it's at operating temperature, you got to drive an additional 6 minutes at over 55 miles an hour. So I usually stick right around 60 in the slow lane, in the right lane on the highway, and then you'll be good because you're going to be stopping anyway. So then you go to 45 to 55 miles an hour for 2 minutes, and then you got to pull over to the side of the road with your foot on the brake, still in drive, and let sit idle for 2 minutes. And that will test the heater circuits on the oxygen sensors, and it will also initiate the evap test. So that's what I got to do for tomorrow morning. I didn't just drive around all day today in my Canyon. I did this morning for a couple hours trying to get all of them set, but A few of them you have to do when it's ice cold. So, and you only really have one, you know, stone cold startup, and that's the first thing in the morning. So, um, so that one of them's completed. I'm happy, kind of. But okay, so now I'm going to show you what I did with the rear differential. This is kind of like an update for that as well. So I'm going to spin you around. Don't get seasick. Okay. So I ground and I filled all the digs from when we cut all the brackets off. Ground it smooth. Did the same over on this side. I hate it when I have this camera in this orientation straight up and down. It's tough to see everything. And I welded those brackets back on. Those are the sway bar brackets. Let me get a good shot of them. I welded those back on. I also welded these tubes to the housing. That's another thing that you do. When you're planning to make pretty good horsepower, these 8.8 rears have the tendency to break these spot welds, and it'll twist the tube right in the housing. So good rule of thumb, seeing that this housing is just like a GM exhaust manifold, it is cast steel, you can weld to it. So what you do is you do it in quarters. You weld from here down to here, so say 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and then you go on the back side and you weld 6 o'clock up to 9 o'clock, and you leave it alone. And then you come over here and you do the same thing, 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Okay? And then by that time when you're done with that, you let that cool, you come over here and you do the two opposites that you didn't do. You get the hint, you get the idea. So then I welded these brackets on, and then I went over to Tractor Supply, and I was originally going to put a D-ring here. Tractor Supply doesn't have them. I can't believe it. I could have sworn I seen weld-in D-rings there. I could not find them. I had 2 employees helping me, and it wasn't happening. They didn't have any. So then I came home, and I was kind of bumming a little bit, and then I forgot that I had this stuff. It's 3 by 3 by 3/8. So I took the plasma cutter and I cut the corner. I went in the chop side. I cut two 5-inch pieces. Then I took the plasma cutter and I made this 2. So now it is 2 by 3. I drilled the holes for it, and what we're going to do is I am going to bolt these to here. And I'm going to take a hole saw and lop a hole in here. Like whatever I want 1 inch of space from here to here. Or 3/4. Something enough. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be right at the edge. I want like that, like 1 inch would be the strongest. And put a hole here with a hole saw. So you can hook in with your strap on the dyno. Or you can, when you're towing it, you can hook on it. Nobody's grabbing your axle tubes and screwing shit up. You know, because I used to be a wrecker driver, and a lot of times you can't see the brake line, so you whoop your J hook around here, and you tighten up on it, and it mushes the guy's brake line. So this has a spot where you can just, it will have a spot that you can just hook with straps, or chains, or whatever, J hooks. So I'm going to bolt those to there. I'm going to, these, actually I have one right here I can show you. These bolts, they're washered. So in other words, what I mean is they have a washer built right into them, see? But these ones, they have these knurls in the back, see? So once they're tight, they bite in and then they don't come out. But seeing that I'm a little weird about that stuff, I'm still going to put a lock washer, a nut, and red Loctite on the nut. Just to safety's sake, you know. You can't be too... When it comes to towing and strapping something down on a flatbed or on a trailer or enclosed trailer, especially like a wide open trailer, if this was ever break and the car would come off and kill somebody, I would never be able to live with myself. So You guys can tell me I'm being over. It's overkill. I don't think so, and that's all that matters to me. So, anyways, yeah, and I painted up the rear. I didn't paint the bottoms because I have to weld the spring perches on. And I bought a new cover. It was like $13. Um, with a big old China badge on it. I'm gonna have to repaint that. But anyways, yeah, because this one is really badly flake rotted, and I'm afraid it's gonna leak. Because there's rust also on the inside, believe it or not. So that's that. I don't think I have anything else to talk about. Anything new? No, I don't think there's anything else. Nothing new came in. Oh, big update. Big update. Let me spin you around. I've made a decision. Like, I didn't want to do this in the very beginning because I wanted to do everything here. I've made a decision that I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the majority of it here. But just for the basic fact of the mess, I don't feel like dealing with that here. So what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna drive it into work. I'm gonna pull the motor, the tranny, slip that in at work, because then that way I could leave that 4-cylinder up there. It won't be in my way up here. Because you guys look around. This place needs to be cleaned. I got to clean this whole place. Yeah, wall to wall, side to side. That's going to be over the next few weekends and weeknights. I got to get out here and get it clean because I got to make enough room so I can get it in, so I could finish it. So I'm gonna put the motor and the tranny and the rear. I'm gonna put all of them in. I'm gonna install them in up there at work. That way I don't have to deal with the mess. And then I'm gonna have it towed. I'll call AAA and say my car's at the dealership. I need it towed home. They'll tow it here, drop it in front of my bay door, and then I'll winch it in and we'll finish it. It's just it's a smarter and easier plan for me to do that there. And even if I have to make a temporary transmission cross member, I can. Or I'll just alter that one. I have another one out of the Yukon that I might be able to cut and make fit. I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna install the motor, tranny, and rear diff at work. Then that way I don't have to deal with the mess here. It's nice and easy. I could just roll it in and put the wiring harness in. I could do all the cold side intercooler with all the cold side stuff. I could do all the hot side stuff's already done. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So as soon as I get it through emissions, as soon as this thing goes through emissions, I promise you that motor's coming out. Mark my words. And then we're into the second phase of this whole build. We've went through a lot of phases. If you've been watching, we built the engine. We've built the tranny. We did the rear end. You guys were right in front of it now. We're actually still technically doing the rear end, but that will be into our next phase. And once we get it in and get it all secured and the drive shaft made and all that's done, then I'm shooting. I didn't think that we were gonna have it ready for any track days this year, but just thinking by putting all that in up there, that shaves off a lot of time. So we might be able to make it up for the last few weeks at Lebanon Valley Dragway. So, and then we could always go south, I guess. They're open a little bit later in the year down in the southern part of the country. So that's only like 6 to 8. Well, Pennsylvania, southern Pennsylvania is, I think it's like 6 hours away, five to 6 hours away from me here. Maybe a little longer. But hell, we can make a weekend of it. You know, we'll go leave on a Thursday, get there on Friday. I'm pretty sure they have, I can't remember the name of the track, but they have like test and tune on Friday. And they're open Saturday for competition events and Sunday for competition events, which is really rad, you know. But anyway, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta go take a shower and go to bed. I'm shot. It's been a long day. I had a gig last night, so I didn't get home until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. I was right up bright and early at 5:30 this morning. So anyway, see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll try to make a video. Yeah, I'll make a video, I promise. It might be a little difficult though. I'm gonna have to figure out a mounting system in the truck so I can talk to you guys and still do my thing. Alright. Good night, folks.